Welcome to BizCube's weekly online training series. Today's topic is on free open source OLAP Visualisation tool comparison, presented by Diego Paz. Diego's areas of expertise include analysis and design of BI solutions for SQL Server and Pentaho, as well as systems configuration and ETL design. He is a Master of Project Management from the University of Sydney, along with a Bachelor of Electronic Engineering from the Universidad del Cauca in Colombia. Before joining the BizCube team, Diego spent nearly 5 years on business systems development projects as a software engineer. His skills include data mining and model design, both conceptual and logical data warehouse modeling and grooming, data flow architectures, and report design optimization. Today's presentation covers use case, step-by-step instruction, and Q&A. Please remember to mute your microphones. You can use the WebEx chat feature to ask questions at any time. Post questions to BizCube host, and our presenter will be answering questions after the presentation. Now over to you, Diego.
Good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk about different open source options for analysis in Pentaho. So I have come to research different options, and I try to test them, and at the end I just create like a little comparison, and now I'm gonna just show the results. So in this comparison, I work with 4 options, and the first option is the one that is coming by default with Pentaho, which is JPivot, which is also called Analysis View. I also took a look at Psychoanalytics, which is developed by Psycholabs. I also had a look at STPivot, which is from the same guys that deliver strategy BI. And finally, I just had a look at a new project that is called Pivot4G, which is just in the development stage. It's still in a very early stage of maturity. So first off, I work with Pivot4G, and for my surprise, they didn't have a plugin to install out of the box. They do have one in development, but it is expected to be released with version 5 of Pentaho with Sugar. So this one I just discarded it because it's not ready to be deployed. I tried to work with Pentaho Community Edition 4.8, but it didn't really work. STPivot is simply CSS, and this is something that it may be worth the clarification. STPivot is just a CSS, it's a skin, really. It's try to improve the user experience on JPivot. So it's not a complete pivoting tool out of the box, and they say that. So at the end, I just focus on these two, on JPivot and Psycho. So let's have a look first at JPivot, which is the one that comes by default with Pentaho. So I have in my box a Pentaho 4.8 stable, community edition. It comes with JPivot, which they call it Analysis View Legacy. And the reason why they call it Legacy is because they are no longer supporting it. They are putting all these efforts on Pentaho Analyzer, which is the version for enterprise edition. and this one is just it's been just uh, left as a legacy product. Uh, However, there are some initiatives like SD Pivot and the Pivot who want to really keep going with the development, and it's just a matter of time. I mean, we still have to wait until they get mature enough to be used in production environments. Okay, so if we have a look at this, I have been using during all my webinars this steel wheel cells. This is a new version, new uh, an edited version of the normal steel wheels uh, cube. Now, if I go here to the tools and this can workbench. So we have, so this is pretty much what we get when we use a pivot. It is simply a some a pivot table, a very simple pivot table. We can just drill down and drill up. It has the option for navigate and choose more measures if I want here. So I click here on my measures, and I have here quantity, sales, and cost. Let's have a look. So here we have quantity, sales, and cost. Um, it has the option to write MDX. So if I just want to go and say select, um, and this is very useful. Um, Measures dot sales and cost columns. Yeah, it will just it just work. So this is very useful if we want something that we got into a MDX and we want to make it uh, a pivot table. Let's have a look at the let's make this MDX a little bit more complex. Indeed. Let let's use let's have a look at the dimensions. We can come here. Ah, we did that. Okay, so let's come back here. Let's go away from this MDX. Come back here to here. Uh, Another of the features. Let's look in analysis here. One of the things that may not be uh, choose the wrong one. Let me just choose the wrong cube. Wrong cube. All right. So let's try to do something different here. Let's open the navigator. So I want to put the products before the customer, and I want to get rid of this one. We're gonna start having issues. Yeah. So we can come here and cancel here, and then we swap axis. We have the option to swap axis if we want. Yeah. we have the option to, for example, if we want to generate a chart, we have the option to generate charts. So if it's, for example, I just export time and then I put it into a show chart. It just show me the chart, and I have the option to customize the chart and say, okay, do I want a pie chart by column? Yes, so it has a very it has a charting option, which is useful as well, and it has of course the option to export to Excel, which is not working right now. All right, another option that I explore, which is psychoanalytics. This option is pretty good. I mean, this changes the metaphor of the pivot table a little bit, but it provides some flexibility in terms of analyzing data. So if we come here and see cells, we are not constrained by the pivot table, but rather we are visualizing dimensions, and we visualize the dimensions and we do the analysis as we want it to be. So, for example, if I want to know market analysis per year, per territory, and I want to know a cost and sales comparison. So I may just I know that I want to see all the territories on the rows. I know I want to see cost and sales. I put them here in columns. And I know I want to see years. So I put this one here. So it changes the metaphor of the pivot table, but we don't lose the value of analyzing data, which is at the end what we want. So this differs a little bit of how we might do things with JPivot or with any pivot table, but is but personally it is more efficient at the moment of doing quick analysis. You don't need to go. Sometimes some of the issues with the normal pivot tables is like you may be forced to look at data that you may not be interested in. So, for example, if I want to look at this analysis, I will have to open first this one, and I say, okay, I want to have to go to the columns and say I want to have the years in the columns. So I have to move this. Yeah, that will be the first change, and then I cannot get rid of these rows. So all what I have to do is load pretty much everything, and sometimes all of this may add a little bit of noise, which may or may not be uh, liked by some people, especially when you are looking for some specific data. So this is essentially the main difference of psychoanalytics. You just can go on, get straight to the point. With here, you may not want to see this. Want to see this customer? No, just want to see the market, which is where I'm interested. So essentially, you can get to the same result. And it is a matter of what you like or what you don't like. As I said before, this is there are two different ways to get to the same point. and one is with JPView, and another one is with psychoanalytics. And psychoanalytics also have the option to accept a format, raw formatting, but this uh, color coding is defined in a schema workbench. So we can define from a schema workbench. If we want, we can also define calculated numbers if we need it. So it doesn't have the option to define calculated members on the tool itself, or to define I think it allows formatting. No, I don't think it allows formatting or formatting. Then this is something that you can define in a schema workbench, and Psycho will notice this. Another thing with Psycho is that it also have the option for charting. Yeah. It also has the option to export to XLS. Yeah. It is getting to a level of maturity that is decent enough for analysis, and from all the tools they have analyzed so far, is the one that uh, is robust enough to be deployed on a production environment. Unfortunately, JPeople is also robust, but the problem with JPeople is like since development has been stalled a bit, so this also has affected the development, and you don't see new features, and you don't see a lot of support on that tool. A lot of expectations for um, Pivot4j. I'd like to see the plugin once they release it. They haven't released it, and the screenshots look promising. So it would be good to look at that. This one also has the option to view the MDX and to generate MDX. This is very useful for complex MDX calculations. So, for example, and this is something that the enterprise tools from Pentaho don't have, and is to have get and an MDX statement and just run it and just show it. So this open the flexibility, open the options for getting further with this analysis tool. Also, it has the option to connect not only to Mondrian but also to other XML providers like analysis services. So psychoanalytics is more flexible than probably uh, other other the closed source version. What else? Yeah, we also have charting. It has also the option for tags. I don't find that very useful. Uh, Export can swap axes, as it says, and of course you can just save your query and store it as a file, and use the Pentaho access control list feature to manage how people are going to access these files. So this is a Psycho webinar. Yeah. So with this last part of with the saving of this file, I'd like to finish this webinar today. Was a brief example. There is a lot of things we can do, and I think in a future presentation we might talk about probably getting further with MDX and trying to do funny uh, good stuff with MDX and try to visualize it here, since that probably we cannot do in another when we just drag and drop. So thank you very much for watching, and yeah, see you next time.